Welcome to Angela's Kitchen Garden. I'm going to take you on a quick tour of my plot and show you how things have grown over the past week. This is a goji berry plant that I've been given by another plot holder, so I'm really excited to see how that does. Now in this first bed, this is my strawberry bed, and those were my runners, and these are plants that I had from last year, so these are a little bit bigger and more established. And as you can see, they're in flower, and so I should be getting a really nice early crop of strawberries, which I'm really excited about. And I need to give the bed a little bit of a weed because I didn't mulch it. The weeds are starting to creep in and I don't want them taking hold. Now these are my summer fruiting raspberries, and these are doing fantastically well, and they're sending up lots of new shoots from the bottom, and they'll be next year's fruit. Now here on the ends of this year's fruiting canes I've got flower buds, and so I should be getting lots of lovely raspberries from these, and I'm really excited about that because I don't think you can beat freshly picked raspberries. They're absolutely delicious. Now in this bed here I've got more strawberry plants which are also in flower, and I've also got my Ben Nevis blackcurrant bushes, and I haven't tried these because they didn't fruit last year, but this year they have really made up for it. They are just dripping in flowers. I don't think I've ever seen so many flowers on a blackcurrant bush before, and so I'm really hoping that they taste nice because there are so many of them on here, and I'm going to have to make sure that I net them so that the birds don't eat them all. But they're just doing fantastically well. I only planted them last year and they've just grown so much. They were tiny little plants when I put them in. Now at the back of this bed I have got my autumn fruiting raspberries, and they're a variety called Autumn Bliss, and they did fantastically well last year, so fingers crossed they do the same this year. Now these are my cabbages. They're called Durham Early, and they're really starting to heart up now, so they're doing really well. I've also got 2 little rows of turnips and kohlrabi. Now in this bed here I have got my broad beans, and they're doing really well, apart from the fact that a little pea and bean weevil has been nibbling the edges of the leaves. Now in this bed here I have got my Swiss chard, and this has really done well, and I've been picking it for dinner a couple of times a week and it's lovely. Those are my rhubarbs. Then here I've got my globe artichokes. Because I moved them earlier this year, it did stunt them a little bit, so they're not doing quite as well as I'd hoped. Now here is my gooseberry bush that I moved, and this is doing really well. It's in flower and all of the leaves are starting to come out, so I actually think that I'll be getting gooseberries from it this year, which is really exciting. So I have to see what they taste like because I don't know what the variety is, as I was given this plant. But at the front of the bed I've got a very small gooseberry bush that I put in last year, and this is called Hinamaki Red. I don't know if any of you have tried this before, but I'm excited to see what this one tastes like. And it's got little flowers on it, so I should be getting a couple of berries from this one this year. And then I've also put in a couple of dahlias just to add a little bit of colour to this bed, and those are my chives. Now in this bed here I'm going to be putting my Brussels sprouts, and in the one behind it I'm going to be putting bruchale in. Then all the way along the back here I'm going to be putting my climbing beans. Now in this bed here I've got my parsnips, and as you can see here there's lots of footprints running along where I sowed my carrot seeds, and so I don't know if they've been eating the carrot seedlings. I think it's deer, I'm not sure though, so if you know what these footprints are, please let me know in the comments down below. Now here are my parsnip seedlings, and as you can see it's quite an uneven distribution of them, and I've got a big clump of seedlings here. So what I'm going to do is carefully prick these out, and I'm going to use this clump here to then fill out the rest of the bed where I've had an uneven germination rate from them. And I've also got a row of carrots, then a row of beetroot, and then I've got a row of radishes there at the end, and I'll be successionally sowing those so that I get a continual crop of radishes. Now here are my purple sprouting broccoli, and they're doing fantastically well after the pigeons had them, and so they've really grown back, and they just keep sending up shoots, and they're fantastic. Really recommend these if you like purple sprouting broccoli. They're fantastic to grow and a really, really heavy cropper. I don't know the variety because another plot holder gave me these last year, but I'm going to be sowing some purple and some white sprouting broccoli for next year. And those ones are going to be going into this bed here. And I'm also going to be putting my green 10-stem broccoli called Sibsy, and that's fantastic. These are my peas, and I've sown a short row of them, and in a couple of weeks I'll do another row. And over here is my cut flower garden, and I'm going to be using the whole bed all the way to the end just for cut flowers. So I'm really excited to see how this does this year. So I'm going to have row of cosmos, 2 rows of dahlias, and then here I've got 2 rows of gladioli growing up there. And then at the front I've got a pom-pom dahlia, then I've got 2 canna lilies, and then I've also got some more dahlias. And then along the row here I've got lots of different varieties of flowers to plant. I've almost finished this bed, so I need to put a path in here, another bed, another path, and then a thicker bed at the end, and then I will have finished. And as you can see, there's not far to go, so I'm really excited. I've almost got it all dug over. In here I've got some lilies, and I've also got a rose plant here. This is from home, and I had it on my patio last year, and it's a really, really prolific flowerer. It produces lots of lovely, very strongly scented roses. It's called Arthur Bell, and it did really well. It's just I wasn't too keen on the colour, so I thought that what I'd do is use it in my cutting garden. Hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. Also check out my other videos. And if you're on social media, you can check me out on Twitter, Pinterest and Instagram, and the details of that are in the description below. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye!